Welcome to the meeting room at Global TV Talk Show, a broadcast service of globalbusinessnews.net.
This episode from the meeting room of Global TV Talk Show is brought to you by
The Bridge School, the accredited international online private school of choice, at bridgek12.org.
Porch Light Rental and Destination Services. Reduce your renter lump sum or managed relocation costs. Visit them at porchlightrental.com.
And by airs.com. With our full range of services, we can help design and manage your international relocation. Find us at airs.com.
Primestone Partners, featuring corporate, government, and developer housing solutions, as well as senior-level advisory services. Find them at primestonepartners.com.
And by International Auto Source. We are the vehicle experts for expats, featuring all major brands of automobiles with flexible solutions and financing. On the web at intlauto.com.
Become a global player in your field.
Cross Culture to Go provides virtual support for your global business and career success.
We can help you thrive in 140 plus countries and markets.
On the web at crossculturetogo.com.
This is Ed Cohen in San Diego, California, and you're on Global TV Talk Show. This is a broadcast unit of globalbusinessnews.net, which has been around since '03. Google Analytics has tracked, if we can believe all that. They say that there's been 1.2 million reader page views, audience page views on our site since '03. More recently, since we launched the TV series in April of 2020, we've done 158 broadcasts, and this is number 159. And Google says we've had 110,000 approximately page views since then. Now, some of our advertisers have been on every single show, and so their logo and their brand has been seen 110,000 times, if you can imagine that. It's crazy. But that's the power of marketing if you use the Zoom correctly, and if you have a marketing budget. Today, our very special guest is, it's called SOJURN. And this is a nice word, and it means journey, but it means something a lot more. This is Lauren Turner, and she's a founder. Lauren, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Briefly, what does SOJURN really mean?
Sure. So SOJURN has been around for about 4 years now. My background actually is in both corporate housing as well as furniture rental. And SOJURN really came about because after many years in the industry, I realized that there was this niche market that wasn't really being fulfilled well within the industry. And that was more of the long-term furnished rental needs. So what SOJURN is, in a nutshell, is we are a furnished apartment provider that really caters to long-term customized furnished apartments. The beauty of what we do and what makes us unique in comparison to a lot of our industry competitors is that we find the location that really suits the needs of our client. So we assist in sourcing an exact location. We help them find the floor plan that they want. We do not hold set inventory, which allows them to really customize everything down to their furniture package, as well as the services that they'd like in the apartment. And that way they really have a turnkey unit that is customized based on their needs that really does feel like home, since they're there for such a long time.
So you specialize in long-term, not short-term.
We do, yep. Our average lease term is actually 11 months. The industry in general for corporate housing, I believe the average term is about 86 days. I think in general, most of the corporate housing providers, they're really focused on a lot of those, shorter term relocation type needs. Right. And that is just something that we just don't really focus on that. So yeah, we're catering to, especially in the Washington, D.C. area where we're based, Our clients are mainly people who are here on like long-term contract assignments. They're an expat, they're coming in for a year or two, and they're affiliated with one of the embassies in the area. Or even someone who perhaps is doing a long renovation on their home and they need a temporary place to stay for 6 months. We'll do anything as short as 3 months. And if we do have a corporate client who's looking for something for a shorter term, we utilize other industry partners as well. So we'll use other corporate housing companies and partner with them.
So is it $100 a day average, $200 a day, $300 a day?
Yeah, again, it's one of the biggest challenges I faced previously being in the industry trying to sell more of what we call inventory units, units that are already fully furnished that, the corporate housing company has taken out. And we're really trying to fill those because if we don't, there's a lot of vacancy there and, you're eating pretty substantial costs. So the beauty of what we do again is that the average rental right now, it's about $150 a day. It's $4,500 a month. And that's just on average, that's between, studio, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedrooms. But we can really cater to any budget. We have done reservations at, mid-range communities that are still very, very nice, what we call a B-level community, with just our comfort furniture package, which is our mid-range package. And we can get something for under $3,000 a month, fully furnished, turnkey, ready to go for that client. So we can really customize it based on the budget.
Thank you very much. Michelle, hello, welcome
Hi,
again.
Ed.
Nice
Thank
to
you for
see
having
you
us.
again. Yeah.
Absolutely. Nice to see you.
So Michelle, you live in the McLean area and you've been at several of our meetings, thankfully, and someday again, for sure, in person.
That sounds great.
And with us also is Angela Stanford, who lives in Virginia also. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So Angela, what's your background?
My background is primarily furniture rental. I started back in 2001 with a furniture rental company called AFR, based in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. And
I'm familiar.
Oh, okay. Yes, I was there for about 15 years. Mm-hmm. And Lauren and I actually have worked together before. And I stepped out of the industry for a little bit and moved back to the area, and Lauren and I reconnected, and here I am. I'm on the other side, which I like better, being on the corporate housing side. Yes. Yeah,
well, that's cool. So, so Michelle, what have you been doing the last 18 months?
Well, working, same as everybody else, just doing it from home. But, it's not really much of a change because in sales, worked from home before too, and just haven't had the opportunity to meet with many clients until recently, which is good. It's nice to get out and about again and, see people face to face.
Scary, yes, or was, yeah.
Yeah. These Zoom calls like we're having now have become pretty popular. So I wonder if that's going to continue with the industry trends as far as the business traveler is concerned as well, too.
Of course it will. Yeah. Sure. Because it makes sense. Look at all the cost savings that
absolutely
that Lauren has, not sending you places.
Yeah.
I know that, our business just crashed and burned. All the 25 years of doing live meetings and then no money anymore.
Yeah.
But we also have no costs. So, are able to squeak by and survive and get new traction because of Zoom. And
sure.
I could never go to Sri Lanka or Singapore and talk to somebody about buying an ad or being on a program, but we could do it this way.
Now you can, yeah.
And we have. And so now, boy, if this lady in Sri Lanka, Sarah, who's an immigration specialist and an attorney and owns a destination company, if we ever get together, we're going to really have a good time. I know.
Because you know each other already through these Zoom calls.
Right,
I think, technology, it advances and we all have to go along with it and find out new ways. Right. It's pretty exciting too.
Yeah. Well, we've learned that we can build rapport through being human. So what if the kid screaming in the other room, or the dog comes across barking.
I talked
Everybody's got that.
exactly, and I talked to a client who actually they like to see the pets around. It's like seeing somebody in their home environment. Now you get to actualize that, whereas before, it was always that in person. Now you
Yeah,
get to experience their personal life as well.
yeah, exactly. So see this picture behind me here. This is Venice, of course, and I took that picture. I don't know, about 8 years ago. It's one of the small canals, and this building right here with the white, that's actually a restaurant, and you see the tree in the background.
Yeah.
That's an outside court for
Mhm.
dining, and it's quite nice. So we just took it, and I love the picture and the experience, so I just stretched it. And so that's my Zoom thing.
Like it.
Real
Beautiful.
background.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. Okay. And so because we liked Italy so much, we went there several times when it was good to do that. We love the Tuscany colors, so that wall is part of that.
Oh,
One of my favorite places.
Yeah, really cool.
I'll have to go. I haven't been.
In fact, just the other day, we did a broadcast with an immigration attorney who lives in Tuscany, has a small farm, not an agri-tourism thing, but of his own. So it was really nice. He turned the camera around and showed us the garden.
Yeah, it's neat.
It was fun.
You can get such a feel for people. I think that in general, the norm prior to COVID was it felt a lot more personal being in person, face to face at someone's office. And I think that this has really, really changed our view of that, and being able to utilize technology in order to have these meetings, and almost like you guys both mentioned, feel even more personal because you're in your home setting. It's really interesting how it's changed, because it also just is, in general, it's such a time saver, and at the end of the day, for us, especially, being a small business, it is every minute counts, and so if we're traveling for 2 hours to a meeting that's up in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and we're losing that time where we can just hop on a Zoom call, sometimes it's almost preferred, and I think that you can actually maximize your time with a client too. So it's really interesting. Then again, it's always wonderful to meet in person if you can, but there's definitely some plus sides, I think, to what we've learned in the past 18 months with utilizing these Zoom calls a lot more often.
Yeah, I can't imagine it not staying and even growing.
Yeah.
So, what about this video? I saw her on the. Are you throwing things? What's going on there?
I don't know.
So, I saw on your LinkedIn page, Michelle, that or someplace. No, it was a website that you have a video. So you do video tours of the units, of what it can look like, or how are you using technology?
Yeah, at the former company that I worked at, we, it was like, let's go into apartments and do video tours, but all the properties seem to be doing that too. So it's kind of, during COVID, you had to figure out a way to show the apartment. Sometimes people don't just like pictures, they want to do an actual tour. So you just go into the apartment yourself, after COVID, when you were able to go to the apartment yourselves and tour the units, do a self-guided tour, and just, take a video of the whole entire apartment and, FaceTime that. So it's different the way you're selling things across the table based on COVID. Really brought a lot of, these technology ways to sell a little bit differently and more, I think, to clients. So they can be in California, say they're in San Diego and they want a tour of the apartment. Now we just go in and you can just do a video tour. You can FaceTime them or do it however, or send it to them.
It makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, what do you think is going to happen in the fall? I think nothing's going to change between now and September, but certainly after Labor Day and into September, definitely October, we don't know what the disease variants are going to do. Already here in California, they're issuing in LA, which is 120 miles north of here, Mask. You got to wear a mask if you're inside, even
Heard
if you
that.
have been vaccinated. So that's because the thing is out of control again.
Yeah,
And there's
I've
so
been
many
hearing that.
people, unfortunately, there's so many people who are not vaccinated for whatever the reason. And I don't really care, but they're the ones getting sick. And so
Mhm.
it's unknown. The doctors don't even know what the extent
What
of the
variant?
spread is, right?
Yeah,
So it's pretty scary, I think.
yeah. People have been saying that with the new what do we call it? The new version of COVID.
Yeah, the
The
Delta.
The
Delta.
The
Delta.
variant.
Yeah, it's kind of causing the cases to spike again. And I heard the same thing with non-vaccinated people, that
Yeah,
they're the ones that are kind of causing
unfortunately.
yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
So, how'd you like to have an airline called Delta at this time? Well, that would be rough. and I'm a frequent, and I've got a million miles on them. So,
That's
but
funny.
I'm not going anywhere. In fact, I'm going on Alaska to Cabo San Lucas, going the other way.
Oh
Nice.
boy.
Yeah, right.
No, that'll be okay.
Yeah,
So,
it'll be interesting to see what happens this fall. I
Yeah.
think that people have, it's funny how quickly things change to go back to what we felt was normal. Now I've gotten to the point, and I was very careful during COVID. I have, young kids. I was pregnant, I had a newborn, and I just recently a couple times entered a facility and forgot to even bring a mask in. So it's like all of a sudden you just go back to normal and you
right,
almost forget. And I think that
right.
that's what's happening with a lot of people. And it'll be interesting to see, because I have heard, the cases where people who are fully vaccinated are getting COVID because of the variant. So I think that it might be a tricky season. I think in general, like business wise, so many people have learned so many lessons, especially in our industry, through, kind of what they can withstand if we go through, a dip in business again. Luckily we withstood really, really well last year, just because we don't hold that inventory, and we had, leases set for each of our reservations and the leases that we took out from the communities. So since they were matched, we didn't carry that really high overhead. So I think everyone, will probably be pretty cautious going into the fall, but I am hopeful that if something does, if the numbers spike again, that people are just way quicker to react. I think, previously, last year, obviously always hindsight is 2020, but we didn't know what to do, and nobody really knew. And I think that there were precautions that we weren't taking in the beginning, with everybody wearing masks and like staying 6 feet apart, all the stuff that we did then for a year. But I think now we've learned our lesson. So I'm hoping, if people start, if people who are vaccinated, if the numbers start spiking again, like there's just the precautions are there a little bit quicker this time around, so it doesn't get as bad, because now we know what can happen and how much people will suffer, and businesses and family life, and what a big deal it was. So I do hope people, if come the fall things spike again, people take it a little bit more, seriously from the get-go.
Yeah. So the HR people who have that kind of people attitude and have kept in touch with people sincerely and not just autocratically, people want to work for them, and so they're having hybrid events, allowing some people in 1 day a week, 2 days a week, but not to sit there, but to have planned meetings in a conference room setting, and then they leave. But the senior level seems to be in their cubicles or walled offices or something, in many companies. Now, not just in New York City, but in other places, some companies involved in big money things, they're requiring people to come in the office, but hardly anybody in tech or knowledge-based work. They have almost liberty to not come in.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so I've been seeing that on LinkedIn, because obviously, LinkedIn is a daily place I visit,
Right.
as most people do. But you kind of see all even the talent acquisition people that are looking to rehire or bring people back. You see a lot more of we're hiring.
Yeah. So a lot of people are quitting and
Yeah.
resigning. So it's kind of it's a new world.
Yep.
So in the next 30 days or so, we're going to be doing a number of these HR related topics with HR people. And of course, anybody could tune in. But we'll do a deeper dive than we have been.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Some companies don't want to talk about it, or they're not allowed to talk about it.
Sure. That makes sense.
Mm.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a timely announcement.
Hi, I'm Sergey Gorbatov.
I'm Angela Lane.
Together we're researchers, writers and practitioners in the field of human resources.
And we've also been multi-country, multi-assignment career expats.
We owe our professional development and growth to a very large extent to the international assignment opportunities that we have had.
But in a world where distributed work may become the norm, we also want to understand what will happen to the nature, duration, and purpose of international assignments.
Together with our colleague, Julian Dalzell from the University of South Carolina, we're undertaking a study on the future of expatriation.
And we'd value your contribution. You can participate in this important study by completing a simple 10-minute questionnaire.
Access the questionnaire by typing in your browser tinyurl.com/expert study. That's tinyurl.com/expert study. You can also find the link here on Ed's website next to this video.
Thank you for joining us in this study. In return for your contribution, we'll provide you with a copy of our research.
And of course, you'll be invited to an exclusive webinar hosted by Ed, where we will share our findings right here on Global Business News.
And so please go to tinyurl.com/expat study. Take the survey so that we can better understand the future of expatriation.
Something that's really neat is that the Bridge School partners with various organizations to provide learning for their students. For example, we partner with a major ballet company, and we are able to enroll several of their students into our school. So now not only is the student able to participate in a school and have a seamless transition while they're very active in their ballet career, but now they have other dancers that are with them that are doing some of the same courses. So it's almost becoming a camaraderie where they're taking similar courses, they're working together on their ballet, and really being able to form this great partnership with these organizations to provide a needed service. A lot of times there are student athletes who will spend hours and hours at the gym or at the basketball courts, wherever it is. And if they're attending a traditional school, they're in school from 8 to 3. They get a quick snack, and then they're at the gym for 3 to 4 hours in the evening. Coming to us and having that partnership, they're able to break that up throughout the day. They can have a morning practice, get some schooling in, have an afternoon practice, finish their schooling in the evening. So there's that flexibility. And additionally, if there are tournaments or performances, it's fantastic because if there's a week where they have shows straight through, they can take that week off of learning and then pick back up when they're done. So it offers this great flexibility. And for the program owners of these sports leagues, it is a win-win situation for them because they see this need. They see this need that their students need to make sure that they are obtaining the grades necessary to be successful adults in our country and in other countries. But it provides them an environment where they can be successful at both.
As a property management professional, we know you are always looking for effective ways to increase revenue without pouring on additional work for your already busy leasing teams. Wouldn't it also be great to find a new and exciting way to market your apartments? Well, look no further, as SOJURN has the perfect solution for you. Here at SOJURN, we are providing multifamily owners and managers with the first and only web-based platform designed to allow your leasing teams to effortlessly offer and rent any apartments as fully furnished, while at the same time supplying your renters with a one-stop solution. The best part is that our service is absolutely free for your teams to utilize. And we promise your renters will rave about the ease of furnishing their new space. Set yourself apart from the competition today by partnering with SOJURN. What do you have to lose?
How are you finding reception doing sales calls? Are you being welcomed, or are people just not answering the phone, or not responding quickly?
Lauren, do you want to take this, or do you want me to take it?
I think you would probably be the wealth of knowledge for that question, so go right ahead.
I just had a conversation with Lauren this week about cold calling and, the importance of it. I've done, a bit more this week just to kind of test exactly what you just said, Ed, to see, are they receptive, or I am not getting a lot of pickups as far as when I do the calling. And I'm not sure if that's because people are not in the office. You know how it gets redirected maybe to their home phone or whatnot, but I don't have as many cell phone numbers, obviously. So I call their direct line through the company. So I'm leaving more voicemails than I probably ever left before. So I did get a hold of a couple people this week, but the success rate of reaching somebody has been there's a smaller margin there. I haven't reached as many people.
We've decided here that's a new old product brought new so it's called relocation TV talk shows, brand new. And we've only done one. And so the plan now is to do them across the country in destination markets like Raleigh or Atlanta or Orlando or Tampa Bay or DC Metro, of course. But and the key is to promote a relocation center, usually within a big real estate office. Like Long and Foster is a big outfit, of course, and their relocation director would be my customer. And they would pay a fee to be exclusive, which means I can't go to anybody else in that market for a period of time. And then we do a talk show just like we're doing. But we talk about the homes and the neighborhoods and the schools and the lifestyles, all within a talk show environment. We show some video clips, show some pictures of homes. We put up some real estate statistic charts. So this is a new product that's really in the embryonic stage right now. And that is a segment, and I bring this up because we're talking about the difficulty of making sales in this environment. You just can't sit and wait for the phone to ring. You got to do something proactive. So this is my reinvention. And I'm learning that other companies and other industries are almost replicating that, but in their own sphere, nothing to do with relocation stuff. So what I'm finding is really warm, not hot, but really warm reception to learn more and to think about it, plan it. And so I'm really excited and energized about this new product. So it's a relocation guide to a destination, sponsored, and using the Zoom as the methodology. And then when that's finished, then we'll give them the show. They could do whatever they want with it. But then we put it out on our network, and it's PR for them and for their own services, and of course for that destination. So as you can imagine, that could be a very busy time coming up. And it's super exciting because it avoids the issue of corporate relocation, yet it has almost everything to do with the same thing, but it's just different. So in your business now, let's just I assume insurance. I mean, with flooding, with crazy weather we're having, when people get flooded out, they got to live somewhere, right? Insurance will pay
housing,
for it.
yeah.
So I would imagine you guys have that as you already have that capability, but there seems to be with rainstorms or fires, people unfortunately being impacted out of housing. I mean, God forbid buildings collapse or whatever.
Yeah.
People have to live somewhere right away. And so temporary housing experts are in Florida, I would think, right now, are in Southeast Florida anyway, where all the moisture is
Yep.
in these old buildings. I mean, you've been to Miami Beach, you go up and down Collins Avenue, and almost every building, not the new ones, but the older ones, they all look exactly like that building that
Building
crashed.
that's just, yeah.
Surfside, yeah.
Which is a really treacherous
Absolutely.
when you think of that. But to prepare for a business opportunity or to prepare for danger, the other flip side of danger is opportunity.
Yep.
So not to be hard-headed about it, but there's, I would think, a niche for your business that will probably grow.
Insurance housing has been around for a while. A lot of the,
Yeah.
corporate housing providers, they focus on that as well. So yeah, that's absolutely a segment of business within the corporate housing world.
Yeah.
It's actually, I mean, we just got a request for one today, and a lot of times obviously they need something immediate because it's a situation that's out of their control.
Right.
And most of the times, the insurance company will, depending on the situation, but they won't a lot of times, cover their housing as well. So it's certainly something that we've dealt with, and it's a unique situation because you really feel for these people. A lot of times they're in a really crummy situation. So I think that having that, it's funny, we talk about technology and how our industry is changing, and everyone's booking stuff, through online and through the web, and those are the people who really still need a point of contact. They want to be able to talk to someone and feel comfortable with where they're staying. They want to know that they have room for their kids and their dog, and it's a stressful situation for them. So I think that's where our industry still will remain similar to what it always has been, where you really have to have that personal touch. And I think that that's something that we strive to do, especially for people who are in a situation like that.
Yeah. Well, this is really been a human conversation that we've been having, and I appreciate you guys for doing it. So I thank you for being on Global TV Talk Show.
Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you, Lauren. Nice to meet you, Angela. And it's great.
Thank
to
you,
be with
Ed.
Michelle. So you
Thanks,
remember
Ed.
Mark Bacacci, right, from Hilton?
Yes.
Yeah. So
He was at the February.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And so he and I have been on shows together for the last year and a half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so back in May, just to give you a clue, okay, because he runs Hilton worldwide.
Yep. He's here in Tyson's, I think. Or,
yeah. No.
Well, the headquarters is, yeah.
In McLean. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's starting in May, because we did a program in May. He says, you won't believe it, but we are just overloaded with relocations going on.
Really?
And we're understaffed. And so he was working around the clock for weeks.
Sure.
I mean, so interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, that is interesting.
Back in May. Right?
Yeah, how busy they were. That's
right.
That's good though. That means the world's moving a little bit more.
May was that was one of our busiest months. I think that a lot of everything was, it was like bottlenecked. So everything, people were waiting to relocate someone, waiting to hire someone, waiting to put someone on assignment, and it all happened at once. So it was wild. Now I think things are getting back to your normal ebb and flow that you would see depending on the quarter. But yeah, I mean, I felt that for sure in May, and it's good. That's what we want. So hopefully that continues.
Absolutely.
Fingers crossed.
So a lot of people's furniture have not arrived yet, and they wonder where it is.
I've heard that.
Yeah. Yeah, our vendors are having a huge challenge with that, with trying to get new inventory. And I think that's one in general, one of the biggest problems right now. And in the industry is that there's a lot of need and not enough, inventory. So hopefully that all pops through pretty soon. We'll see.
Very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ed.
Thanks, Ed.
Have a nice one. Bye-bye.
You
Bye.
too. Take care.
Thank you. This is Ed in San Diego, and Lauren and Michelle and Angela in the Washington, D.C. metro region. Thank you for being on Global TV.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us in the meeting room at Global TV Talk Show.
Have a wonderful day, and stay safe.